said you can change. Cheers. Hi, guys. So I know a lot of you guys are going through career pivots or identity crisis or big shifts in your life or just like big moments. So I had the one and only come on the pod and come to my house and infiltrate my entire home so that we could learn more about doing this. Yeah, this specific moment. This is Stefanie Elsperman. And some of you guys might know her because she's kind of been here quite a few times. We have a history, but she started in the coaching industry, which is where we met. And now she runs a high-end luxury jewelry store and online brand with her soon-to-be hubby. So I think it's really important to have the conversation of making a leap in any direction, just because I know personally what it took for you to actually release and step into. And I think it's really going to land with my audience of what happens when that happens and surrendering and stepping into that identity and actually just like honestly releasing your ego to do the thing that is so openly the next pathway to actually have a better outcome, and then all the things in between. So I'm so excited that you're here, and yeah, I think it'll be fun. Yay. It'll be a fun vibe. Let's do it. So when you were in that moment, actually no, before that, what were you like when you were just getting the first trauma? First trauma. That's just fun. No, but so talk about what you did before stepping into luxury jewelry.
Before jewelry, I worked in the coaching space. So I started with purpose, so helping people figure out what it is that they actually want from their life and what's going to make them the most fulfilled, because we usually just never ask that question. Yeah. And then that transitioned into business, because most of the time once you figure out what fulfills you, a lot of people, not everyone, but many people want to make a switch in their life, whether that's in their career or in starting a business. So I'd help people from that place create a business that not only was successful, but also quite fulfilling.
And then what made you decide that you want to pivot into something else? Like, what was that first feeling?
I would say the first inkling, well, I guess even prior to my own inkling, it was a vision that Nolan had always held. Yeah. And he has this funny way of manifesting anything and everything that he wants. And I thought there was no way, absolutely no way we'd ever work together. And he was like, it's just all that I want. And I was like, you're going to have to find someone else because that's not me. And so there was always that seed planted. And then when we moved in together in Connecticut, you just feel the inkling of like, there's something else. Mm-hmm. I mean, actually, I'm trying to think back to how that actually felt. I mean, you observe the entire process. I feel like you even, because you know when you're going through a metamorphosis, it all kind of blurs together. Yeah. And then you wake up one day and you're like, how did I get here? Yeah. And I remember so distinctly the ego death. I don't know if I remember the exact moment where I was like, okay, it's time. But I think what got me over the hump was honestly logically thinking about it. And I was like, this is what we want for our future and for our family and for our kids. Yeah. And that was part of it, because I think if it was only just the energetic inkling, I would have had a much harder time committing to it.
I also think it was like a slow. Yeah. Like you didn't give it up going, okay, hard, fast. Like I'm shutting this down and going into this. It was like a very slow, like, okay, I'm going to help him with this part. Yeah. And I'm going to help him with this part. And then all of a sudden it became everything that like keeping up with what was couldn't happen as much anymore.
I think that's my style though. I think some people, and there have been times in my life where I've made like a massive shift. And I'm sure some of you guys listening are like the type of people who just want to like jump straight off the cliff. Yeah. The fun ones.
Or the not so fun.
Or the not so fun ones. And just make a radical change. I think at that stage of my life, because looking back, my ego was so tied to my business, even though I thought that it wasn't, because I was like, I'm doing this to be of service. Yeah. Even when you're doing something to be of service, it's so easy for the ego to get intertwined with it and say, well, this is who I am and this is what I do. And if I do something different, then what does this mean about me? What does this mean? Does this mean that I'm a failure? Does this mean that I'm giving up on the thing that I said I was everything to me, and that I thought I was going to be doing 24/7 all of the time. And it's wild. And so I think for me, I did it in phases. And so the first
holidays.
What?
It was in the holidays. That's what I just remembered. It was like I think you were just starting to help him with the holiday season, and then you saw how much growth that had with you in the business and helping. It's like
we're passing the microphone back and forth. Sora wants to be
just feeding me snacks.
interview. Keep going.
But it was the holiday season, and I think you saw in that moment like what whoosh will happen with you actually in the business with that, and then it started getting incrementally more.
Yeah, I think that's where like the logic stepped in. So for those of you who probably know, I mean, every business has its own busy season most of the time, and the holidays is a really big busy season for retail and for jewelry especially. And yeah, my fiance was getting to the point where it was just so much demand that he couldn't keep up with it. And I was like, well, I have some sort of expertise, and our expertise kind of fits together like puzzle pieces. So I was like, we're inevitably going to be happier, more well rested, and more prosperous if we come together and do this. So I started during that time and then kind of wiggled in to find my place. And then over time, I was like, this is so dumb. It works so freaking well once you get over your own ego. And then the rest is history from there. And I also I think for me, like I never closed the door on coaching. I was never like, I'm never going to do this again. I mean, like that is truly what's in my heart. Everything that I'm doing in the jewelry space is actually much more cerebral and much more business operations focused. There's a lot of moving parts. It's not necessarily like 1,000%. And it's interesting because now I have to explore like my own fulfillment and where do I find that? And I find my fulfillment now less so in being of service in the way that I always thought, and more so in what we're creating together. So.
Yeah. Well, it's also what you're also looking at is how does this work for when motherhood comes? It's not just I want to do this because ego, right? And I think that's what a lot of people do is you're thinking in the moment, at least in your 20s, and I know you're still in your 20s, but it's like in your 20s, you're thinking like me, money, like this is me at the center. I want to be famous. I want to be known for this. This is what I need to do. I need to prove myself. And then you hit this wave of either meeting your person or getting a little bit older and you're like, okay, no, but like, how is this actually going to work for family? Like longevity wise, we need to make this much money in order for this chapter of life to happen. And then we have to get these systems in place for this to comfortably happen and working towards that. And I think that's what you finally surrendered into. It's not that this like inkling of like your place in the world. And it's like, because I remember we talked a lot about Elena and Grant Cardone, where everyone has their seasons in their marriage where like one person is going to blast off, and sure, two people can blast off at the same time, but just to like give that permission slip to self, it was like, okay, he's going to do this now, then family, and then my time can come in the 40s. Like it's like whatever that is, knowing damn that drive, that passion, that light, that's never going to go away, and that's actually channeled into a way bigger vision than the now, like, and I think a lot of people are looking at the now, like if I make this pivot, what's going to happen right now? It's like, okay, think bigger, like think what's actually going to happen in the next 5 years, what's going to happen when family gets involved, what's going to happen in the next season, how is this going to benefit more than just you as a singular focus. Trust me, we'll get back to you, but when you serve, it's going to come back tenfold.
I think there's like different layers that happen in different seasons, and you saying that kind of sparked, I think the biggest thing that I guess inspired me to make the change was I'm also like a perfectionist, and you know this, and highly driven. So when it comes to my own business and creating what I want to see in the world, there was a level of pressure that also came with it, even though it was like, and still is, the work that fulfills me the most, and I love every single one of my clients. There's a level of when it's your name and it's just you, there's a level of pressure, right? And Nolan and I think we were looking at our life and we were like, gosh, we can go so much further together than like both of us being in our own silos side by side. creating, like, we would have gotten there.
Yeah.
But
we always go further together.
You always go further together. And then we started doing it, and I realized we had so much fun. And I think that, you know, there's a portion of ego death that you have to go through when you're making a pivot. But I also think that God will always give you some sort of payoff on the other side. And for me, the payoff was realizing how well it was working, just in how well we fit together, and also like in the numbers that we were doing together. And also how much fun we were having and how much we were growing. Like, I think, yeah, I mean, I could talk about a whole thing with like couples in business, but that's not the focus.
Different podcast. Yeah. Different podcast. So what do you think if someone's in that season and you can think back to that feeling that you were having of just like, I don't want to. Like there was like that defiance, that moment of like, I don't want to. This is mine. That's his. Who am I if I don't do this? If someone's in that moment right now, what would you say?
That's a good question.
Because that's pretty much everyone that's in the pivot moment.
Yeah, no, I totally had the defiance of my own ego. Just do it anyways. Yeah. You know, I think there's a difference. You can tell the difference between your own defiance and your own heart's nudge. And I knew the difference. Yeah. And I'm the type of person where if my feet start walking in one direction, I know to follow them, even if my mind isn't around it, you know? And there will always be that, but you'll always like, you have no idea what you're going to gain on the other side. Yeah. You know, I knew that there was a missing piece in my coaching, and I was missing the element of like going out in the world and just doing cool shit without having to teach about it. Yeah. And for me, I just needed to be in an experimental phase again. And I'm sure that of course, there is a part of yourself that might feel like you're losing something. But in the end, like, you gain so much from just like fuck around and find out a little bit.
I think also in that, like, to piggyback off of that, it's in order to get there, it's never going to feel right. It literally is just the experimentation process of like incrementally try different things and see what happens, show up in different ways, go out in different conversations, try new hobbies. Like, you have no idea. I think a lot of us have spent so much time doing one thing for so long, beating a dead horse. And then, I mean, this is what we're seeing right now, at least in the coaching industry, is just a lot of change happening. Just it's seemingly over in 1 month of just like, oh, there's a different way. There's a different way you can do this. And people found the different way because they fucked around and found out. Yeah. They did different hobbies. They tried different experimentations. They showed up in a different way. They weren't committed to one way of doing content or creation or anything like that. It was just like, I'm going to go find out who I actually am versus who I've told myself I need to be, which I defined when I was 22 years old. Like, who the fuck knows who I'm supposed to be? Like, you're a different person and you're able to scribble outside those lines and just go, I don't know. I'm just going to go play and stop worrying about the numbers of like, how much money am I going to make? It's like, how much fun can I have? What can I learn? And how well can I do it?
So, to piggyback off of that, I think for me, like, I'm always 110% committed wherever I am. I think that's the inner recovering perfectionist. But I was not, and still am not, tied to one direction. Like, when I made the switch, I think that was also part of me trying to preserve my ego, but it actually worked in my own favor. I was like, who knows if we're going to like this? Who knows if we're going to like working together? Who knows if I'm going to even like working in this business in this different way? Who knows? And who knows what the future holds? Who knows if I'm going to do this forever? Who knows if I'm just going to do it for 6 months and then realize, oh my gosh, I miss coaching. I miss my own business and brand. And I'm still open. And I think that's what makes it fun, is when you don't then immediately jump with your ego to identify yourself in another way. And when you make the jump, like, as you said, you do the same thing for the longest time, your ego gets intertwined there most of the time. And then when you finally tease it apart, the biggest disservice you can do is then go and need to identify yourself immediately and say, this is who I am and this is what I do, as a defense mechanism, right? Like, I think the biggest service you can do to yourself is saying, I don't know. And I'm just going to like try it out and I'm going to see. And that's how you uncover different sides of yourself that inevitably make you just like respect and love yourself so much more, but also bring more value to the world. You know, you become so much more multidimensional when you've tried different things and seen what worked and seen what you liked.
1,000%. I think a lot of human beings, it's the commitment issues. Like, whether we want to admit it or not, it's like, oh, I want commitment. I want the things. I want stability. And it's like, I don't know if that's, I mean, the feminine, we're creative. We like to bounce around. We're flowing. So when you sit there and you're like, this is the linear path that you're going to do for the next 80 years, it's like,
it's terrible.
No, thank you. But yet we want it. Like, it's like, I want to know what's going to happen for the next 10 years. But at the same time, if you tell me what's going to happen for the next 10 years, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm going to burn it to the ground and make sure that it doesn't work. And so it's being able to sit there. And I think, yeah, like, as you say that, I'm like, yeah, that's like, even in this season for myself, I'm sitting there being like, yeah, I'm non-committal. Like, I'm not committing to anything. I'm going to try things out for like 3-month windows versus like, I'm doing this for the next 3 years to see what happens. It's like, no, I got 3 months in me. I got 90 days. And if it doesn't work and I don't see the results that I want, I'm also not happy, then I'm going to shift. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to play this way.
I would challenge you on that.
Okay, for what?
I would challenge you because I'm curious how much you can see in 3 months. Like, if I would have set 3 months for making this pivot, I don't think I would have done it. Like,
so you think longer?
I think longer. I mean, it depends on what you're jumping into. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're just trying a new strategy, okay, 3 months, I understand that, right? But like, if you're making a big pivot in your life, if I would have been like 3 months or I'm out. I mean, we had so much fun in the first 3 months, but I didn't know my place. I was just like, I'm just gonna try some shit and figure it out. I think there's a difference between the tangible outcome showing you and the energetic outcome. Like, I knew within the first 3 months that Nolan and I were having so much fun, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing this because we're having a blast. But as far as like the outcome, I mean, when I made the leap, we were living off of like one person's income now, you know, and we didn't see the payoff of that, of us going in on something for like 6 to 8 months, and then it was like, whoa, like a huge snowball effect. So yeah, I'd say
I feel like that's how it works for couples.
You
know, it's like, because you take a big risk, but at the end of the day, I don't know one that doesn't work out unless you guys like don't have good communication and things like that. But like, people that partner together, it's like, this is the family business. I think that's a huge wave that's like happening right now, but that's like kind of a different conversation. I cannot think of it. So anyone that is listening to this and thinking, okay, I've had that little tickle, or as you say, that itch of just like wanting to do something probably bigger, riskier, something that they maybe didn't go to school for, or even have a clear vision of what it is. Maybe it's even just as simple as like moving somewhere or breaking up with someone or like doing something extreme. What do you want the takeaway from this episode to be?
YOLO, baby. Just kidding. I mean, honestly, you know what's really funny is I do think, though, like, how sad would it be to look back on your life, and it doesn't matter what age you are, and to feel like you never actually went for what you wanted? You know, like, what do you actually have to lose? Maybe stability, but you can always figure it out. You've always figured it out. You know, and like, what I would love and what I wish that you could feel and sense, and what I wish that I could feel and sense before I made the pivot and had the actual payoff, is just how multidimensional your life becomes on the other side. You know, and how many like deeper conversations you can have, how many opportunities open up just because you've had more life experience and you've tried different things. You know, it's like the most boring life you can live is the one where you stay in the same town, you do the same thing until you're 65, and then maybe you travel out of the country once. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's not bad for anyone. Some people, that's their dream. But I guarantee if you want a big life, there's going to be some risk that's involved with that. And if you live your life based on what other people have told you should do to stay safe, like, one day they're going to die. Then what are you going to be living for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you and you.
Or even people that they're like, well, I invested in all this for school and I did all these things. I'm like, so you made that decision when you were 18 years old. Like, who in their right mind was like, this is what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life because you are 18 years old and you clearly know what the fuck you're deciding on for the rest of you? What? No. Like, it's okay if you make that shift when you're 45. Like, it's just like
55, 65,
yeah,
70.
when you have that awareness, it's just this like, no, I want something bigger and I have a finite left of days in my lifetime. Like, I saw a post the other day where it's like you have like 80 summers in life.
Ugh.
How crazy is
Oh
that?
my God, that's like nothing.
Right? And so it's just like sitting there like, okay, like I'm at 30 now. Well, no, I'm 33. First off, I'm at 33 summers now. So it's like, okay, let's go. Let's make some magic. Let's do something bigger. Let's take more risks. Let's get out there and do something a little bit crazy that doesn't make sense. Because honestly, the more conversations you have, I was just telling you this, where it's like the more conversations you have of people that are, did I tell you this? It doesn't matter. Of rich people, it's like, they do the weirdest things. Like, they have the craziest stories. They've taken the biggest risks. They have the weirdest jobs. Like, it's not, I'm a doctor. Like, it's never that. It's like something really cool that they randomly just started because they fucking felt like it. And so it's like, if you have that, sure, keep your stability somewhere. Like, don't just put all your eggs in one basket, but just like do the thing. I think. And I'm saying this as much to you guys as I am to my fucking self. It's just like, I mean, I'm in this season right now. I think motherhood has rocked me in more ways than I care to admit sometimes. Of just, I tried to hold something for so long to keep it alive, but honestly, because it was the only stable thing that felt like during the season. And so now I'm also in that of just like, fuck it. Like, let's go fuck around and find out and see how much value I can provide in order to see what happens next. And that's what I hope other people are doing too, where it's just like, okay, I have this, go provide value and see what opportunities it creates for you.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'll see what direction it goes. That's kind of it.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I know you're trying to wrap it up. To piggyback off of that. What's funny is I remember when I first made the leap and it's not like I had my identity tied into like my role and I didn't know what I was doing in the business at all. But I was like, I know that I can walk into any room and provide value.
Yeah.
And if you lead with that and that knowing within yourself, and your flavor of value is so different than like the person next to you, you can do anything. You can actually do anything. Like, put your ego aside, just go in, be of service, add value, and then you figure out where you actually add value. And like what inspires you too, you know, and then what you learn and who you become, and then that evolution starts again.
You know nothing. You know nothing.
You're dumb as fuck.
You know nothing. And when you play that card of just like, I'm new here, like you did before you ever started whatever it is that you're currently in right now, like you were just like, I'm here to learn and I'm a sponge. Like, I'm just gonna come and I'm gonna go. And now you're just like a little bit more mature. So you're just like, I want to seem cool. Stop seeming cool. Like, just be in the room.
We start as like not knowing anything. We start knowing nothing and being the little fish. So cool. And then you get into it for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, however many years. And now your ego's so tied into what you do. It's like, you got to remember the beginner's mind. And we should always be refreshing that. Otherwise, I think our minds like atrophy. I think we become really old then.
Always be challenged. Just like when we went to drinks the other day, when I went, I don't know what value I provide. This is great. What do I do next?
Exactly. It's a good thing when you're asking yourself that question. You're like, I don't know who I am and what's going on. Usually you're on the precipice of something really big. So it's a good sign, actually. This is great for you.
It's good. Be triggered. Do the things. So where can people connect with you?
What was that? I was trying to think of something funny. It didn't come. On Instagram at Stefanie Elsperman, and our jewelry business is at Deep River Jewelry or at Nolan Sponsor, all on Instagram. They'll be in the show notes for funsies.
That will be cool.
What about you?
It's my podcast.
Answer the question.
Guys, come hang out. Actually, what I would really love for you guys is to come over on Instagram and come into my DMs and tell me, just crawl up in there and tell me what your takeaway is. Like, what is the thing that you're scared to take a leap on? And like, some of you guys have dirty little secrets. Exactly. And you don't let people know. And I think one of those things to be like, this is the thing I kind of want to jump off a cliff for. And like, when you make it known, it's so different. And when you let people see it. And obviously I'm like not in your day-to-day life, but like it's so nice to be seen in it and witnessed in it. So just slide into my DMs and tell me, what is that thing? Like your dirty little secret. Yeah. I love you. Also, oh yeah, my Instagram is it's Laura Patricia Martin. So ITS Laura Patricia Martin. And y'all know. Oh yeah, if you haven't noticed, new episodes on Wednesday now, just to make my life more convenient. Just an update on that one instead of Mondays. I'm the CEO, so I decided. Okay, love you guys. Bye. Bye.